Good evening, everyone, and welcome today to the Witty Wednesday. Welcome to today's session of Witty Wednesday. So, today's session focuses on the art and science of acquiring and managing HNI clients in a rapidly evolving financial landscape. Our speaker today, Vikram sir, will guide us through proven strategies to build trust, communication value, and convert high potential prospects with confidence. So I'll start. So beginning with our session. So our today's speaker, Mr. Vikram, he comes with a he is with Edelweiss, and he has joined as head of sales training in the year 2021, and he has worked on enhancing knowledge to develop skills and impact attitude for various programs. He has the ability to connect and deliver programs across hierarchies and experience. So, and prior to joining Edelweiss, he has worked with HSBC, Reliance Mutual Funds, and other companies as well. So please wait patiently, and let's hear from Mr. Vikram about today's topic. Vikram sir, we can continue.
Thank you, Uma. Thank you for that introduction, and good evening to one and all. And thank you very much for taking time out and joining me. Uma, just one question. You want me to run this in English, Hindi mix? How does that?
It's a mix of both Hindi and English.
Okay, fine. So, today's topic, I think, is a very, very relevant topic, isn't it? I mean, in our line of work, we all want to manage and acquire HNI client. There's a different aura, that comes with them. And, when you're managing HNI clients, obviously the ticket is big. So, your business growth happens faster, and a confidence booster aata hai na, ki I am managing such and such person. And even if I'm managing HNI clients, I want to do more. If I'm not managing, I want to start managing. There is this very, very strong attraction that we feel towards this client base. So today, we're going to talk about a lot of things when it comes to HNIs. We'll talk about who is an HNI, kahan milega, what are those things which we should be doing? What are those things that we should not be doing? What is the qualities that an HNI looks for, when he is wanting to do business with somebody? Is my advice that I should be giving to him. A lot of things, and where will I find them? And also what is it that sometimes is the reason I think that this business will happen, but at the last minute, the person says, I'll skip. So what are those things which we very, very careful about? So ये सब चीजों के बारे में हम बात करेंगे. If you have any queries, questions, my humble request would be, please put it in the chat, and I will respond to your queries and questions, or in the Q&A section. I will respond to your queries and questions towards the end. Okay, so on that note, first let's understand who is an HNI. Very honestly, there is no one definition. And I have seen this definition evolve, right? In the current context, it is said anyone between 5 lakhs to 5 crores is an HNI. 5 crores to 25 crores is a very high net worth individual. And now 25 crore plus ticket size is known as an ultra HNI. But like I said, there is no one definition. Because when I started working in the financial services industry in 2008, tab bolte the 1 crore and above, is an HNI. Then I saw 75 lakhs, 60 lakhs, 50 lakhs. Now aate 5 lakhs. So clearly, the definition is changing because there's no one definition, and it will be very different in different cities, right? In Mumbai, maybe 5 lakhs may not be a very, very HNI type of a value, but or in Delhi it may not be, but maybe a 10-15 lakh worth. But somewhere else, maybe a 3 lakh rupees may seem like an HNI value. It also depends on what your average ticket size is. If my average ticket size is 1 lakh rupees, even a 3 lakh rupees in Mumbai for me will be a very important client, and I will give that person HNI ka status. But I mean, if I were to just put something from what we gather right now, between 5 lakh plus is what people talk of. But like I said, there is no one definition. So this is an HNI, and quite honestly, important element, is something that you need to see whether there is some investable surplus. मतलब पैसा डालने के लिए है क्या? There are people who are HNIs, but they don't have an investable surplus, right? I mean, they've got a house, they've got, a lot of things, but all of this is something which is telling you that this person in HNI, but uske paas liquid cash nahi hai. So that doesn't help. The idea has to be that do you have liquid money, investable surplus, where if you want to put money in something, you have it, right? Obviously, because otherwise, how does that help, right? So quite interesting ये देखिए data, I mean in 2020 अगर हम बात करें, so number of HNIs in India was about 3.5 lakhs, and in 2025 this number has grown and become about 6 lakh plus. Similarly, अगर ultra HNIs के बारे में बात करें तो in 2020 the number was just about 6,884, 6,000, 7,000 really. And now in 2025 the number is close to about 11 lakh, 11,000, So clearly this segment is growing. And because this segment is growing, it becomes very, very important कि इसको cater करें. क्योंकि अगर आप नहीं करोगे तो कोई और कर देगा, बट कोई ना कोई तो करेगा. So if somebody is there, to grab this business, then why not us? It becomes the important question, right? And that is why this segment is something which should be on your radar at all times, right? Very, very important is, for an HNI, for all customers, but more for HNI, is what is the value that you bring to the table? वो वैल्यू बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज होती है. अगर ये वैल्यू डिराइव नहीं हो रहा है ना, तो इट्स वेरी ट्रांजैक्शनल. एंड अगर ट्रांजैक्शनल होगा आज, तो ये कल भी होगा की गारंटी नहीं. No, there are various value propositions that we can offer. So, for example, somebody will buy from me because मेरा market knowledge अच्छा है, and the way so people think that I know about market. So because I know about markets, I will make the right investment decisions. Somebody will buy from me because मैं जो product solution देता हूँ वो उसके लिए एक अच्छा fit बनता है. Somebody will buy from me because मेरा उसके साथ में एक relationship अच्छा है. Somebody will buy from me because मेरा network अच्छा है, so they want to be associated with. Just giving you some examples. Somebody will buy from me from some other reason. Somebody will not buy from me because he or she is not deriving value. Very, very important in our line of work is that there is a value that the customer is deriving from me. So for example, somebody will buy from you because you have multiple products which can help the person, garner his or her returns, into various instruments. So that is what some, can buy from you. Now, the idea is that there has to be some value. Because अगर वो value नहीं है, then very honestly, आज हुआ शायद कल नहीं होगा. And very honestly, think, whenever you close a successful client, it is a good idea to think what is it that this person saw as value in me to buy. It lets you know कि आप क्या क्या values दे रहे हो जो customer को valuable लग रही है. At the same time, if then somebody doesn't buy from you, think about where did you lose this customer? Why did this person not see value in me? Maybe I was speaking too much about markets. This person doesn't want to hear about markets. This person wants to know about कहाँ डालूं. So वो convinced है market में पैसा बनेगा, but कहाँ डालूं? So मैं market की से बात कर रहा हूँ, ये person switch off हो रहा है, bore हो रहा है, and that reflects in in his or her body language. But I have not noticed. But बाद में when I will think मुझे शायद मालूम पड़ेगा. So always think about what is that value that you are proposing. How is it that you are giving value to your customer, and what is the value that your customer is deriving from you? Because wo value is what will make people stick to you. Another very important thing that we all should work on is something known as an elevator pitch. As the name suggests, it's something which, when you enter with somebody on the ground floor of a building and up before you reach the top floor, you have to say something which tells them that, I want to know more. I want to sit with this person, right? What is that elevator pitch for your organization? I mean, you're an organization which has been in the business for so long, doing multiple products, having so many customers, so many branches, and what is it that differentiates you from others? All of this has to be packed into one powerful pitch. And it has to be so concise that it has to be delivered from ground floor to top floor. So 1 से 2 मिनट का जो टाइम मिलता है उस लिफ्ट में मैं इतनी पावरफुली उस पिच को बताऊं कि सामने वाले को यार इनसे तो मिलना चाहिए ना, these are the people who I want to work with, right? And that is what we need to build, because a lot of people start with बाद में देखते हैं, and this elevator pitch pushes that बाद में to now. That sense of urgency वो build करता है, and वो sense of urgency जब build होती है तब सामने वाले को लगता है नहीं यार, I want to know more, I want to do this, and that helps us. So in that sense, that elevator pitch becomes a very, very strong value proposition to start. That gives you the opening, because वो opening के बाद में आप उसको build कर सकते हो, right? अगर opening powerful होगी तो फिर probability कि things will work in the same fashion also becomes very, very strong. So work on something where you deliver a very strong elevator pitch. Some things that we should know about HNIs, right? We all want to do business with HNIs. And HNIs का एक problem है. They think they know. And they come with that attitude कि मुझे पता है. आप कुछ बोलोगे मार्केट में डालना चाहिए, हाँ अभी तो रुको थोड़ा टाइम, वापस कुछ trade war की I'm hearing some negative news, last 2-3 days markets are not being very positive. I just think this is not the right time. you know Everyone has that information, everyone is reading, everyone is inferring from the same information. But क्या होता है ना, हमारे में ना, जब कोई HNI से हम बात कर रहे थे, एंड जब वो ऐसे बात करता है ना, a lot of times, because I don't want to antagonize the person, I don't want that other person to feel bad, I tend to agree कि हाँ ठीक है, देखते हैं, ओके आपको जब लगता है I'll get in touch with you again. I don't want to make that person feel कि वो गलत बोल रहा है. बट इसमें होता क्या है ना, उसी का इंफॉर्मेशन वो वैलिडेट करे, किसी मुझे पता है, मैंने बोला, इन्होंने अग्री किया, एंड मेरी वैल्यू डिराइव नहीं हो रही, because I am agreeing with that person and I am not showing my expertise. Because I am not showing my expertise, the person is not valuing me for my expertise and not looking at me as an expert in investments. And because I am losing the battle there and there. This person will not ever want to look at me and want to talk to me about markets, about investing, because उसको लगता ही नहीं मैं expert हूँ. Always show your expertise. Why are the markets looking good? Why is this a buying opportunity? Where is the buying opportunity right now? Say you maybe currently last 2-3 days, yes, markets are little on the negative bias, but this is a short-term thing, because DIIs are buying. Slowly we are, the turnaround story would start coming in, because GST 2.0 is here, inflation is low, RBI is cutting rates, there's extra liquidity with people. All of this will ensure that the people spend more, profitable, sale of goods will increase, sale of goods will increase, profitability will increase, earnings will increase, and it will start showing in stock price. So this is that time that you want to enter. You have to not leave a single opportunity to showcase your expertise, because see, that person is an expert in his or her field because of which वो HNI बना है. I am an expert in my field. अगर उसको नहीं लगता कि उसको हेल्प चाहिए, वो शायद आपसे मेरे से बात भी नहीं करता. So show your expertise. Yes, they think they know, but what is it that you are seeing? How are you different? How are you an expert in your own field is a very, very important element to showcase. We discuss why you should sell to HNIs, bigger ticket size, profits, confidence, and quite honestly, if you don't, somebody else will, number of HNIs is growing. Clearly the pie is becoming bigger. If I will not sell, somebody else will, and if it's available, then why shouldn't I be the one who takes benefit of this? Now, a more important element, which we should be very, very aware of, is what are those things which an HNI looks for. when he or she is deciding on which wealth manager to do business with. You know, number one clearly is quality of information. आप क्या बोलते हो, कैसे बोलते हो, क्या शेयर करते हो, कैसे शेयर करते हो, क्या क्वालिटी है, कितनी सिंप्लिसिटी के साथ वो शेयर हो रहा है. What is that quality that you as a person, and what information you're sharing is coming with. Very, very important. Obviously, today I think, the importance of getting associated with a brand has become much bigger than ever before. Post COVID, I think this shift has happened in across. Right? जब हम grocery shopping के लिए भी जाते हैं, हम branded groceries सभी के लिए. Why are we doing that? Because थोड़ा सा trust, quality, all of this place has started to play in my mind. So you are part of an excellent brand. Leverage that brand. You have a team. It's a competent team. Talk about it. Positive outcomes from clients you have. We our research, our investment ideas help people across, and these are, we can give you some examples, make you talk to some other people who've been with us. How technologically secure you are, what's the culture, what is happening in your organization. Leverage all of that your brand provides you, that your organization provides you, to tell them that when you associate with us, you don't just get one thing, you get the benefit of so many other things. And that is where, the other person starts thinking, yes, these are those people whom I want to get associated with, whom I want to engage with for my investment purposes. So that is how you should be looking at it. Some more things, there are people now, ये जो पहला वाला point है यहाँ पे, people like to have a one-stop shop जो उनके लिए सब कुछ करे. So, what are those things which you can offer? How is it that why associating with all of you, with you will help them, becomes a very, very important element. Second thing is, what is the macro view that you are presenting. जैसे मैंने आपको कहा, GST 2.0, enhanced liquidity, rate cut, all of this is clearly help, meaning that there is more money in people's hands. More money means more spending means more buying means more sales means more profits means stock price going up. This is a macro view on the data that is there. It's simple economics. But this economics is telling me I have to invest to make money. Right? So how do you present this? In the simplest of ways, that is happening. When you go out to malls, you go anywhere, do you see some crowd? If you see crowd, clearly that is because people have money to spend. So if they are spending, things will become, uh, moving in the right direction. That's how that's the macro view that you start talking about. What is your strategy? How are you playing the markets? And more, very, very important today, we keep hearing this phrase, data is the new oil. There's so much data about what's happening. And very important, I think, is how do you analyze that data? अगर हम म्यूचुअल फंड्स में बात करें, so there is so many new products on factor base, on the passive side, on even SIF is a new data, a new product that's coming. There's so much different stuff happening. How do you analyze the need for this? How do you pitch it to your customers? How do you analyze, data? It's a very, very important element today, because there's a lot of data, very few people can analyze it correctly. So the analytical abilities of people is something which becomes a very, very important trump card that you can start talking about, because even that customer has this data, but he doesn't know or she doesn't know what to do with this data. ये मिलेंगे कहाँ now? One question which a lot of us keep thinking is ये कहाँ मिलेंगे? Obviously you will have some databases, what I'm assuming. But referrals obviously is something big. We'll talk about referrals in the next slide also. But if you want to build an HNI network, then apart from work in their homes, they also do a lot of other things. Some will go to a fitness center, gym khana, club, park, yoga center, parents teacher association, some religious center, social centers, alumni associations. The idea has to be, that you also have to start visiting the place. आप वहां पे जाओगी, आप दिखोगे ना, तो दिखोगे तो क्लियरली, थोड़े टाइम बाद जब आप रेगुलरली जाओगे, तो पीपल विल स्टार्ट एक्नॉलेजिंग यू, एंड व्हेन दे स्टार्ट एक्नॉलेजिंग यू, that is when you can start thinking of moving things in that direction. We talk a little ahead also on this, how do you acquire, but you know, uh, but वो जानना जरूरी है. They are everywhere. We all know referral is a very, very big, way of adding customers. If I refer you to somebody, the probability that the other person will buy is very, very high. So look at, creating a referral program for your client base, and how you can leverage that thing. You know. Now profiling, what is it that an HNI looks for? One is the clear, regular one, जिसको एक investment objective, risk reward, time horizon, ये सब चीजें करके level of knowledge करके एक पूरा, जैसे हम regularly करते हैं, कि how, where does this person sit and what will be his or her requirements. The second part is, uh, you know, how involved is the HNI? There are people who are very, very involved. उनको हर चीज मालूम करनी है. They want a monthly portfolio review, quarterly portfolio review, क्या हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है, सब कुछ चाहिए. कुछ लोग हैं जो हैंड्स ऑफ है, भाई आप देख लो, अनलेस कोई बहुत बड़ी डिविएशन होती नहीं है, आई डोंट वांट टू गेट इन्वॉल्व, राइट. some want to take tactical calls, some want to take long term calls. सो आप किसके क्या टाइप के पर्सन के साथ डील कर रहे हो, उस बेसिस पे उनकी प्रोफाइलिंग करके उसको उस प्रोफाइल पे वी हैव टू एंश्योर दैट वी आर एबल टू फीड दैट इंफॉर्मेशन टू हिम और हर ऑन रेगुलर इंटरवल्स. बिकॉज अगर हम नहीं करेंगे तो ये किधर और चला जाएगा. यू नो if you talk of risk appetite, एक thought है कि most HNIs are risk takers. If I were to elaborate on this, maybe the new age HNI is, थोड़ा सा he or she doesn't mind the risk because उसी से उसका पैसा बनता है या तो पैसा बना है. At the same time, there are also a lot of HNIs who don't like risk. For example, I know 2-3 people, maybe 4-5 people, uh, who are perhaps in this category at zero risk. They don't have a demat account also. And their idea is, I don't want to risk because I have enough. I don't care. I don't want to risk. You can't get them to put a single paisa in any risky asset because they say, why should I add to my stress? I'm doing well. I don't need it. So I don't. At the same time, like I said, there are a lot of HNIs who are ready for risk. They want something like this, to create that extra alpha. And that is why you see so many HNI products like PE funds, PMSs, AIS, venture capital funds. All of these are predominantly created to feed that extra alpha or risk-taking ability of the HNI network. You know, very interesting data that I came across, when I was doing research for this is, what is the time period for which, HNIs invest, most HNIs usually invest for a period about 3 years. हम बात करते long term, long term doesn't really attract these people. And it's a they want to use the money. It's not bad. But every 3 years, no, they want some change. अगर वो चीज चलता रहेगा ना तो थोड़े टाइम बाद वो बोर हो जाते हैं कि यार ये तो चल रहा है, कुछ नया बताओ. And इसलिए what we should, I mean, if you see cycles also, you'll see HNIs invest big on the equity side, फिर 2-3 साल के बाद में थोड़ा सा रियल एस्टेट में डाइवर्ट करेंगे, किधर और डाइवर्ट करेंगे, वो करते रहते हैं बिकॉज कुछ ना कुछ नयापन चाहिए, कुछ नया चाहिए, बिकॉज वही सेम चीज के साथ में थोड़ा सा रेगुलरिटी, मंडेननेस आ जाती है, विच दे डोंट एंजॉय. एंड वो 2-3 साल में थोड़ा और पैसा भी जमा हो जाता है. नाउ दे वांट टू इन्वेस्ट दैट आल्सो, so one thing that you need to keep on doing with your HNI is to keep on talking about new ideas because they want this, they want they want that newness, they want to be different. So that is something which you should be doing. Now, where are they investing? Very honestly, everywhere. Real estate obviously is huge, commercial residential, both, इसके अलावा clearly equity markets directly, mutual fund के through, hedge funds, fixed income products में करते हैं, sovereign gold bonds में उन्होंने बहुत पैसा डाला, startups, P's, venture capital, PMS, AIF, international is becoming a very, very strong favorite, especially through the LRS route, where they are investing outside through the gift city route. So ये सब चीजें uh, are gaining a lot of traction, and अगर LRS के थ्रू नहीं तो feeder funds के थ्रू जाता है, but it is something where lot of traction is going, and what you can clearly see is that they are investing in multiple products, sometimes even almost seemingly similar products, and this, very honestly, when you see, gives rise to a very different problem, and a problem which perhaps they have not realized. That problem is of over diversification. इतनी ज्यादा पैसे सब जगह पर है और इतनी सिमिलर स्कीम्स में पैसे डाल के रखिए, तो ये एक हाईलाइट बहुत इजी हो जाता है हमारे लिए कि डोंट यू थिंक यू आर ओवर डाइवर्सिफाइड. I've seen portfolios of HNIs and 25 26 mutual fund schemes, and I told them इतनी स्कीम का क्या करोगे? They didn't have an answer. I said there are similar schemes, right? ये 4 स्कीम 5 स्कीम को आप एक ब्लॉक बना देंगे, तो ये सब सिमिलर स्कीम्स है, इतने अलग अलग स्कीम्स में पैसे डालने का क्या रीजन? एंड दे डिडंट नो. रिटर्न्स भी सिमिलर है, ऑलमोस्ट 1-2% ऊपर नीचे. So why? And this is something which you talk to them, when you see somebody's really over diversified portfolio, and you talk to them, उनको रियलाइज होता है कि हाँ यार, मैंने कुछ ज्यादा ही पैसे नहीं डाल दिए, मतलब सिमिलर स्कीम्स में. And that is also something where you are delivering value, because ये उन्होंने realize नहीं किया, ये आपने कराया, right? So tell them that this is the problem that you have, and clearly, you need to look at it from a different lens. So they will say, हाँ, this person was starting, he's a close friend of mine, उसने बोला थोड़ा डाल दो, मैंने वहां डाल दिया, मेरे बैंकर ने बोला ये कर दो ये कर दो, so ऐसे ऐसे करके ये बढ़ता गया. So consolidate कर सकते हैं क्या कुछ? बिकॉज रियली ये पोर्टफोलियो मैनेज करना आपके लिए, आपके फैमिली मेंबर के लिए, सभी के लिए काफी डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा. लेट्स कंसोलिडेट, दैट विल हेल्प देम थिंक कि हाँ, ये तो कर ही सकते हैं. प्रॉब्लम ओवर डाइवर्सिफिकेशन को आप सॉल्व कर सकते हो, एंड दैट इज अ गुड प्रॉब्लम टू सॉल्व. जैसे मैं कहा, हाउ टू अप्रोच, फर्स्ट ऑब्वियसली इज, इफ यू हैव अ लिस्ट, कि किसको मिलना है, वो बनाइए. चेक कीजिए आपके नेटवर्क में कोई इनको पहचानता है तो. अगर नहीं पहचानता, so then the second best option is to find out where they are going. जैसे मैंने कहा, कोई फिटनेस सेंटर जाता है, कोई पार्क जाता है, कोई योगा रूम जाता है, कोई इधर कोई रिलीजियस एसोसिएशन, एलुमनाई, पेरेंट टीचर, कहाँ ना कहाँ हर एक जाता है. Find out where do they go regularly, and you also start going there. जैसे वो रेगुलरिटी आएगी, people will start recognizing you, and when they recognize you, you can start a conversation with them. यहाँ पे एक मिस्टेक जो हम में से काफी लोग करते हैं, as soon as I start having a conversation, I start telling them I wanted to meet you because of this, and वहाँ पे ना थोड़ा सा वो फिजिल आउट हो जाता है. क्यों फिजिल आउट हो जाता है? Because the other person does not see investments with the same seriousness as we do. The focus when you meet somebody has to be on building a relationship. Show your expertise, build relationship. I am doing this, I work in this organization, this is what I do, and automatically the conversation will start veering towards what do you think of markets. Give them a very strong response about what you think of markets, and make them start thinking, that your stuff. Showcase your expertise, work on building relationship. Slowly, over a period of time, you will see that business gets diverted to you on its own. Right? That is where you need to focus on. Some skills, I think, which are very, very important when you're building an HNI network and want to do business with them. Number one, clearly, is your first impression. Today, we are living in a visual world. How you sit, how you talk, the way you're dressed, the way your body language is projecting, everything matters. And HNIs are little higher on visual appeal. So your first impression has to be very, very strong. You know, uh, Second is, your communication. How clear are you in your thoughts? Do you stand on what you say? How expressive you are. Very, very important. Your choice of words, your tone. All of this matters because a good, strong communication is very, very important to express your thoughts in a way where the other person also deciphers and understands exactly आप क्या बोल रहे हो. So communication is the second one. Third is, our business, as we all will agree, is all about trust, isn't it? And if I trust you, I will give you even 5 crores. If I don't trust you, I will not give you 50 rupees or 500 rupees. You know, we have to continuously work on building this trust. Because जैसे वो ट्रस्ट बढ़ता जाएगा, भरोसा बढ़ता जाएगा, लोग हमारे कहने पे पैसा डालेंगे. अभी भी आपके पास नंबर ऑफ क्लाइंट्स होंगे, देयर विल बी सम क्लाइंट जिनके पास आपका एक बहुत ही हाई लेवल ऑफ ट्रस्ट होगा. एंड ये जो हाई लेवल ऑफ ट्रस्ट है, उसके बेसिस पे दीज पीपल विल टेंड टू लिसन टू यू मोर, राइट? सो दैट इज वेयर दैट ट्रस्ट फैक्टर बिकम्स वेरी, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. यू नो आज के वर्ल्ड में आई थिंक वेरी, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्किल सेट ये भी है दैट यू हैव टू बी सोशल. यू कांट बी स्टक, कि मैं लोगों से नहीं मिलता हूँ, मैं नहीं जा रहा हूँ. थोड़ा सा सोशल होना जरूरी है. यू हैव टू बी विजिबल. As you are visible, people will start recognizing you more. They'll start, valuing you more. They'll start knowing your network. थोड़ा सा visibility अपने आप को build करना बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है. Going back, you need to start going where they are going and being visible there. For an HNI, I think one more important quality जिसको बहुत important हो जाता है is we need to give them a sense that you are not controlling. HNIs come with an attitude ना कि मुझे पता है. एंड फिर जब मैं उनको नहीं मैं बताता हूँ आपको ना, उनको थोड़ा टेक इन बैक लगता है. So you have to be very smart and playing in their mind कि आप कंट्रोल नहीं कर रहे हो, आप ही का डिसीजन है, आप ही बता रहे हो कहाँ करना है. थोड़ा सा ईगो मसाजिंग करके कैसे भी करके, so that somewhere they start thinking that they are controlling the narrative, they are controlling the direction, they are controlling the business and the transaction, but it is you who's guiding them there. So somewhere I think this giving up control is a very, very important element, which for HNIs is really important. And lastly, I think one important skill to build successful relationships is to be multidimensional. I may be great at my work, but if I don't have other skill sets, if I can't have a conversation on something different, it doesn't work. You need to know about which new restaurant has opened. You need to have a network which can help them reach, connect with people. You need to uh, know about, sports, current affairs, so many things. ताकि उनकी जो इंटरेस्ट है उस इंटरेस्ट पे आप बात कर सको. Two things which I tell people to keep off the table is politics and religion, because these are personal topics. But otherwise, everything is up for discussion. And talking about it, giving your views about things becomes very, very important to build that connect and relationship. So be multidimensional. You should know about things are happening in your area. What advice you should give apart from obviously the investment advice? दो चीजों पे आपको focus करना चाहिए. Number one, very, very important element is get them to think about having an estate plan. I think it's not something which I don't know whether you'll do this or you don't do this, but whatever it may be, telling them that you should have something where you decide of how your money gets distributed after you is a very, very important element. You don't want people fighting over whatever you want to do. And second is, like I told before also, there is this problem of over diversification. बहुत सारी चीजें, बहुत सारी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, उसको कंसोलिडेट करने का नीड बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. So these are two things which you should talk to them about. Apart from obviously investment, please do this. Whether you do business with me or no, doesn't matter. But these two are very, very important. Now, why am I saying whether you do business with me or no? Because, this is all that is creating value. I'm going beyond my call of duty. I'm telling you to do something I'm telling you, giving you advice on something which is more than, what my duty is. Because I am thinking about how your wealth should be. And वो एक sense of trust build करता है और ज़्यादा. And that helps. you know like I said, कुछ टाइम होता है कि सब कुछ राइट हो गया, ये ट्रांजैक्शन आएगा एंड लास्ट मिनट पे स्लिप हो जाता है. Usually it happens because of any of these three gaps. The first is value gap. The customer is not seeing value. जैसे मैंने start किया value से, coming back to that value. The customer is not seeing value. And इसमें, what we need to do is we need to find out what is the value that the customer is looking for. This is an easy gap to fill. मैं मार्केट बात कर रहा था, उसको तो प्रोडक्ट चाहिए, चलो मैं शिफ्ट करता हूँ. वैल्यू बिल्ड कर सकते हैं, राइट. वैल्यू हम दे सकते हैं बिकॉज हमारे पास बहुत सारी वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन है. एक नहीं चल रहा, दूसरा हम फिट कर सकते हैं, बट उसके लिए हमको मालूम करना पड़ेगा व्हाट इज इट दैट द कस्टमर, व्हाई इज द कस्टमर नॉट सीइंग वैल्यू इन मी, राइट. एंड आई कैन शिफ्ट. सो वैल्यू गैप, this is an easy gap to fill because you have multiple value propositions which you can move into. Second is performance gap. The customer thinks you may be good, but will you be able to manage my volume? I want to put 10 crores. I don't think you are ready. Maybe the firm is ready, but you as a person are not ready for it. So I'm thinking, nahi yaar, chhod do. So you have to, if that is the gap that you're seeing, then you have to tell them that, okay, I'll fill this gap by showcasing my work. Don't give me 10 crores, give me 2 crores. Give me 3 crores. Let's start. See my work and then build. No year, 2 years, no problem. You have confidence in yourself, you can do that. The third gap is something which you don't have to bother, because credibility gap happens when people start thinking, that there is a credibility issue with the person. That is not something which you have to do, because your brand is a very strong brand. It is a very credible brand in the market. And, when you call somebody and say that you are calling from this firm, people look at it, right? So in that sense, credibility is not a gap which should be a worrisome gap for you. So this is where it is. Last thing, what drives HNIs away? When I'm reactive and not proactive. आप कॉल करते हो जब आपको लगता है I will invest. Otherwise, you're not calling. Not great. When I call you, you do things, but you're not proactive in your approach. I don't like it. Because HNI has called, मुझे जल्दी सर्विस देना है, जल्दी नहीं, अच्छी सर्विस देना है. So it's fine to delay things till the time the quality is not being compromised upon. Don't ignore your body language, don't ignore your team members, don't ignore your agreements, don't change them very frequently, because that doesn't help in building that trust factor, जो HNIs want to constantly, validate you with. This is what I had for all of us. अगर आपके पास कोई queries या questions हो, please feel happy to post it. I will be more than happy to respond to those as you post it.
Dear team, if you have any questions, आपको कुछ भी सवाल है, आप chat box या Q&A में डाल सकते हैं. We'll answer that questions for you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for today's session. It was a wonderful session, and I'm sure अगर हमारे RMs आपके जो भी आपके practical tips थे, तो अगर अपने relationship building में use कर पाए, it will definitely help them retain their clients, not just HNI but even the retail one.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your today's session.
Thank you very much. See you. Bye bye.